Welcome to another We Wonder. My name is Chris Pfluger. I'm the Chief Development Officer here at We Insure. And today is a very special We Wonder when we have our Agency Owner of the Year, 2020 winner with us today, Mr. Pablo Taquechel. Pablo, how are you?
Good, Chris. How you doing? Thank you for having me.
I am doing very well as usual, and I'm very excited to have you on here. This is a very special moment for all of you that don't realize. Pablo is a tough guy to get a hold of because he is one of the busiest men in insurance. So I am just privileged to have him in here for this short moment to catch him on film and ask him some questions and really to find out a little bit more about Pablo, his agency, and how things are working. So
I'm happy to be here, and I'm happy to share. And it's been great many years through this experience with We Insure.
Fantastic. Well, I'm going to start there. Tell us a little bit about kind of, when you started with us, where you were before, and what made you decide on We Insure overall.
Absolutely. So my background with insurance actually started in with Western Mutual Financial Services, actually.
Ooh.
And that's where I got a lot of my sales training, if you want to say. I sold a lot of life insurance, but I noticed that there was a lot of business on the table that I was leaving behind. And I thought, man, I got to find a way to tap into that. And that's what started down that journey of getting my 220 license. And then I started working for State Farm.
Mm-hmm.
And I jumped through all the hoops and hurdles to become an agent with State Farm. And in 2010, when I was in the front of the line, I was pretty much the next agent to start an agency. They threatened to leave the state of Florida for homeowners. Or I should say, they were threatening to leave the state of Florida. And I said, hey, I've invested a lot of time and money into getting to the front of the line to become an agent. And they said, well, we'll give you an agency right now, but you got to leave the state of Florida. And I said, I'm not leaving the state of Florida. I said, how much longer do I have to wait? And they said, another 3 to 5 years. And I said, okay, that's not going to happen. So I started looking and putting my feelers out, and that's when I came across We Insure. And I just thought it was a perfect fit,
Well, we appreciate that. I'm glad you found us at the time. And I'm sure there's been a lot of changes. You've been with us almost 11 years. So I'm sure there's a lot of changes from the beginning to where you see today with the national expansion and some of the different systems we have in place. But, tell us a little bit about your experience so far, what you like now and what you like then.
Absolutely. Well, you're right. This is my 11th year. I got in really early when the franchise just came out. I met Phil in Jacksonville. He and I hit it off. I felt very comfortable with him. And I finally joined. Can you believe it or not? Phil was the one who trained me in corporate.
Wow.
That's how things were back then. And Phil, basically sat with me and we went through all the carriers and he walked me through all the systems, and things have drastically changed. And of course, as we grow, right, things have to change, and we go through growing pains, and we've been through ups and downs, but it just keeps getting better and better as we grow, because we're starting to specialize and have departments, and we have people who specialize in those departments and make that more seamless and better service and better attention. I mean, look at Shelly. Shelly's been doing a great job with service, and that's something that we definitely needed. And I'm really glad that we continue to grow and improve. And look at you. I mean, you came on board with us, Chris.
That's true. That's true. No, I think it's a fantastic model, and I think we're now sitting at 22 states. So it's wildly different than it was a few years ago, and what an amazing model it is.
Yes.
I'm going to put you on the spot on that and just say, would you say that, leveraging the service department is what's really helped you grow to this size, or was there something else? Just the carrier access? What really helps you grow at this point?
Wow, I think it was a combination of those two in particular. I mean, there's no doubt that carrier access was huge. It was the reason why I joined We Insure from the beginning. I didn't want any reason not to be able to have appointments from day one and just hit the road running and be able to offer anything and everything that's in the state of Florida to be able to compete with the big boys who have been around 15, 20 years and have all the appointments. And especially down here in South Florida, it's almost impossible to get appointments. So to be able to have access to those appointments was the number one reason for joining WeInsure, and it's still the number one reason to be with WeInsure, no doubt about it. And as far as service, look, not just service, back office accounting and admin and everything that they do in the office. I can't keep up with everything that I do, and that in addition to running the agency, it's just impossible for me. I wouldn't be as efficient as I am, and I wouldn't be able to focus as much on production, if I had to worry about all those things, between the appointments and the accounting and just all the paperwork, and then service, being able to send stuff to service through agent hotline or through Epic. It's nice to know that you can just delegate other things that are going to slow you down.
Right. Well, I would say that obviously you hit on a lot of those points. And just so everyone knows, you're in South Florida. You're in one of the hottest markets in the United States, right? You're in Miami, Florida.
Yes.
Now, it's also very hot there, but it's really the hottest market from a real estate perspective. But it's also a very, very competitive insurance market. People may or may not realize, when I talk to most folks and they say, well, I'm in South Florida, there's only one carrier. There's only one carrier. That's all I can do to get insurance down here. It's so expensive. There's one carrier. What would you say to that?
No, that's not true. I mean, the reality is, and this is amazing, like our quoting and closing ratio is very high. And I tell people when they interview with me, I said, you quote here, you bind here. We're not a factory. We're not just quoting to see what sticks. We will quote and bind here because we will have what everybody else has and what they don't have. So if we're able to offer something and at the same time, give the attention that they need and follow up, and we're not just, trying to do just, like a volume type of, quoting system, I think it makes all the difference. And yeah, Miami-Dade and Tri-County is really tough. Not only is it very competitive, but the fact is, the markets are really tight and they're becoming more difficult every year. But you just gotta keep up with the changes, and the learning curve is high. But if you keep up with those things and you're able to, know the ins and outs and be able to offer competitive, options that other people may not be so keen on and aware of or have access to, it makes all the difference. And even if you're competing with an agent who has the same carrier, you can distinguish yourself and make yourself different because you're a broker, and you have other options that you can show them. Hey, look, next year if it goes up, we'll go somewhere else. We'll find another carrier.
Right, and that's one of the important features, obviously being with WeInsure, is the ability to still maintain that customer for life because you have access to other carriers. When one decides not to ride in the county, or one decides to go away, or one decides they're going to have a 25% increase, it affects you, but it really doesn't affect you because you have the option of shopping somewhere else. And so
that's right.
I think, taking care of your clients and taking care of those families is the most important thing, and being able to offer different things to them to make sure they have the best possible insurance for their situation is pretty much the whole key to the business.
Absolutely. I mean, the reality is we keep the business in the books, and let's face it, when it comes to insurance and running an agency, the name of the game is retention. If you can't retain them and grow your book of business every year, then you're going to be out of business. So that's huge for us to be able to re-quote people and keep them in the books because we're able to offer them an alternative. And if we're not, we're able to show them, hey, listen, these are all the quotes that we got from other carriers, and there's nothing better this year. We recommend you stay where you are. And 9 out of 10 times they're going to stay.
Well, that's the value. A lot of people think, well, I can just search for something real quick online and I can get it done. You certainly can get the wrong insurance that way. You certainly can get underinsured that way. But you don't have the opportunity to talk to a professional that can really tell you, hey, in this market, here's what you should be doing. And you just literally just said exactly what you'd expect to hear from a true insurance professional is, well, listen, I looked around for you. There's nothing better this year. We're going to hold tight.
And that's what they want. Yeah. What they want is for you to give them that attention and time to show them that you've done your due diligence on their behalf, and they feel peaceful about that, and they feel satisfied with that, and they will trust you. But otherwise, the reality is, if you don't give them that attention, they will shop it and go somewhere else.
And they should, and that's exactly what you'd expect to see. But that peace of mind that you mentioned doesn't come at a price. It actually saves them money. That's the unique part about this whole relationship that we have with Reinsure, is that you can give them the best possible price on the market, bar none, as well as the professional insurance advice at the same time. It's a double whammy.
Correct. You've got to set yourself apart and really show them that you're there for them, and that you're going to do the best you can for them.
Well, that's fantastic. Well, Pablo, I know that you're going to be attending this week. We have an awards banquet, and we have our grand opening for our brand new building in Jacksonville, Florida, for headquarters. I think we're going to see you there.
Absolutely. I will be there. I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely. I am too. And the best part about it is we're going to have a Facebook Live event when the awards go off, and we'll be talking to people individually. So maybe we can catch up again and get your feeling on winning the award live, how you feel about it.
Hey, that sounds good to me. I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing everyone and thanking everyone, and being part of that ceremony, and be just grateful for all the years and the success through Reinsure that we've had. So absolutely, I look forward to it. I'm very honored.
Well, I have to say, we're very excited to see you up there. And again, I'm just very pleased you were able to join me this afternoon and share some of your insight for folks out there. If they're looking for a Reinsure, they're looking for someone to quote for them, you are the man in South Florida for sure. So I certainly appreciate you joining us, and we're very proud to have you as part of the Reinsure team, of course.
Thank you. And I'm excited about We Corporate opening up the new office. That's great. It's awesome news. So I look forward to seeing you.
You will. Well, thank you for joining me today, and you have a fantastic day. And thanks for being part of We.
I appreciate it, Chris.
My pleasure.
All righty. Have a good one.